All right, good morning, fools. We are out here in the morning in beautiful Las Flores Park in Verne. We're just a mere couple blocks from my friend Marie, who we got today. It's another special edition of this mini series within the series where I'm trying to grab all my classmates from my DPT cohort, and like I normally do, that kind of ruins the first question of how we met. But what I've been doing with most of the classmates is just asking, remember the first time that we met or we talked? I honestly don't, but
I was gonna say, we met in a hallway at APU, and Wes went like this for an epic high five, and I matched it, and then we were friends ever since. That's basically it.
That's basically it. That's probably one of the main things that I miss from not being in person. It is seeing Marie, seeing Brooke, and then just winding up a humongous,
and then
loud and obnoxious high five that everyone sees.
And then it stings afterwards. That's how you know it's a good one.
Right. Hey, the bigger the wind up, the better.
Definitely.
I'm gonna try not to get the people walking on the sidewalk. But do you, let's see, for the second question, since we all kind of have the same career trajectory of trying to be a PT, can you elaborate a little more on kind of what your past experiences are in, and when you become a PT, is there a certain population that you want to work with?
So I basically grew up in a PT clinic. I had 5 knee surgeries from 8th grade until freshman year of college. So my experience first was as a patient, and then I was able to volunteer at that clinic, so outpatient PT, and I worked there for a couple years. I dipped my toes in pediatrics, and kids are a lot of energy, and I got tired of Baby Shark. So I think I'm going to stick with outpatient orthopedics, particularly geriatrics. I like the old people. They have great stories, and they just want someone to talk to, and you don't have to trick them into doing their exercises like the kiddos. So I'm hoping to be able to work at the clinic that I grew up in and got to be an aide at. And working with geriatrics, maybe mixing in some sports, but definitely geriatrics.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll say just again to the deeper questions of this interview, can you share with everyone a cause or issue that you think is important right now, but you think doesn't necessarily get kind of the coverage or attention that you think that it deserves?
So growing up with my dad being a teacher, and I have an aunt and uncle who are teachers, there's a lot of talk with COVID, obviously getting back in the classroom, keeping people safe, all of that. But I think what's being missed is that kids are kind of sliding through public school. Just hearing experiences from them and how they have kids with a 4th grade reading level who are in middle school. How does that happen? You know, I think that there needs to be better systems in place and resources available to kids who maybe came into classrooms with English not being their first language. You know, there's so many bilingual people within the education field or outside of it, and I kind of think that needs to be emphasized more within the education system. Of you can't just push kids through to keep them going. You kind of have to take a pause and make sure that they're actually learning what they're learning. If you have someone in your class who only speaks Korean and you speak English and you kind of think they get what you're talking about, how is that really making sure that they're learning science? My dad teaches science. That's a very important core subject, and I know he's very frustrated, and I don't know the answers to it, but I think that along with having better resources for schools, it needs to be a focus on making sure that all kids are getting the same education and might need extra help in order to make sure that they're at the same level when they keep going.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you brought up. I mean, I don't have any. Well, I'll say I don't have any immediate family in education. I have a cousin who works as a teacher up in the Bay Area, and I wonder if I talked to him if he would kind of reflect that same sentiment if kind of reading levels are decreasing within COVID. That'll be something interesting to look up on.
Yeah.
I'll say for the second question, I know, like you said, education is within the family. That's pretty close to home. But is there another cause or issue that either you're personally connected to right now, or maybe that you were connected to in the past that you would like more people to know about?
I think as PT students, we're learning more about the healthcare system and what our role is going to be in treating patients, the holistic view of the patient. And the more I learn, the more I see that our system is not built on preventative healthcare. It's more so of, okay, you have this disease and here are pills and here are the expensive treatments that are gonna try to decrease symptoms rather than preventing the diseases. I've had a lot of family members with diabetes, and so seeing them in the final stages of it and hearing things like, I didn't know, there weren't maybe resources, information from the doctor to try to prevent it getting as bad as it did. And so as a PT, I think that there's an important role in not only treating the patient that's in front of you with knee pain or with shoulder pain, but also looking at the whole picture of we're movement analysts, we're movement specialists.
Right.
So working on fixing postures, fixing the way people walk, making them know that when they're sitting at a desk all day and they're like this, that's going to be a problem down the road. So I think that trying to use my profession within my scope of practice to elicit preventive care and educate more about preventative healthcare, just making things more out in the open and having maybe a difficult conversation in order to try to prevent worse disease. So down the line it wasn't, oh, no one told me I shouldn't stand like that, no one told me I shouldn't do this. I'd like to try to help as many people as I can to live pain-free lives. That's the goal for sure. And if I can do that by, oh, look at that pretty bird, oh my gosh, that was gorgeous. Sorry.
It was all good.
That was so pretty. Yeah, I think trying to form my professional career around preventative healthcare and trying to help the patients as a whole, and because I don't know how to fix the healthcare system, I don't know enough about it, but I know what I can do, and that's what I'm going to try to focus on.
And hopefully through this platform you can get more people to look into it.
Yeah.
And we can make this more of a thing that hopefully will bring about more change.
I hope so, for sure. And I know that I have some classmates that are involved in like California government for PTs, and I'll admit I've been getting a little overwhelmed with school lately. It's not an excuse. We have awesome classmates that are very involved, and that's definitely something that I'm going to be looking into once we survive comps exams.
Yeah. No, that's the interview that I hope I can get on here. That will be with, I think, Diana. She's our, what is she? She's our, is she our class representative?
She's our
or
queen. I don't know what her official title is, but she's always keeping us in the loop about what's going on. And, yeah, I'm excited to get more involved moving forward for sure.
Yeah. Quick story before we finish off the interview.
Okay.
I just want to say, one time after class, we all went home, and I think after an hour of resting, I decided to go to the gym. And then like you guys already know, I live like 2 blocks away from campus. We just walk to school normally. But the gym's a little farther away, so I was driving, and as I was driving away, I saw Diana pull out at campus as I was like going to the gym. And I was like, oh man, she really like stayed like a whole hour after we all got out just to study and probably make sure she hammering down all the things we were supposed to know. And I was like, man, that's real commendable.
Yes.
I wish I was doing that.
Definitely someone to look up to and someone to try to challenge ourselves to be more like, for sure. Because I think that coming into PT school, I didn't really have a mind for the government side of PT, and she's definitely made it well known that we can have an active role and we can actually make a difference with it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'll say, speaking on that, having goals of being better in the future, can you kind of tell everyone what your goals are for the future. They can either be short term or they can be as long into the future as you want.
Short term will be to survive comms, enjoy clinicals, and graduate with all of my awesome cohortians. I don't know if that's a word, but it should be.
We'll start using it.
Cohortians. More long term, I'd love to be involved in geriatric wellness as well as PT, and I think neuro had a big part of that with seeing all of the different like Parkinson's gyms and different ways that you can help patients who have tougher diagnoses. I think it'd be really awesome to be able to encourage and motivate patients that way. So going into ortho, geriatrics, I would love to incorporate a wellness aspect to it as well. And then just seeing where the being involved down Diana's path will take me. It's really exciting. It's awesome that you don't have to know exactly what you want to do out of PT school. You have to know enough to take the boards, rock the boards. And then there's so many different possibilities that I think have really opened up the last couple semesters of it doesn't have to just be one thing. You can kind of branch out. So I'm excited to see it. It'll be cool.
Nice. And with that, that's the end of the interview right there. Thanks for Marie for taking the time out of your morning to let me bug you with these questions.
It's awesome. I love what you're doing. I think it's really awesome.
Thank you. And as I like to say kind of at the end of most of these, this series isn't without the people who let me bug them and ask them questions while we walk or run, depending on what you like. And with that, we'll go ahead and conclude it, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Thank you.